Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Appalachian Eclectic. You just met my buddy Copper there. He was in here giving me some kisses. Face is a little bit wet. I want to wish everybody a very cherry Christmas. Yeah, that's right. Corny dad joke. I wanted to show y'all what I'm calling Appalachian Elemental's Very Cherry Christmas collection that there is still time for you to purchase and get shipped before Christmas Day. If you're looking for a super special Christmas gift, one of a kind, unique, can never be replicated, think about picking up one of the balls or a wall hanging or a sculpture from Appalachian Elemental. It will be one of a kind. It's something that everyone will remember for years to come. I need a teleprompter. All right. Well, besides just showing the art, I also want to talk a little bit about one of my favorite woods. And you guess what it might be? Black cherry. Black cherry is a species native to North America. Grows predominantly on the East Coast, and it's pretty prolific, especially here in the mountains. And it is one of my all-time favorites. Absolutely one of my favorites. You can see all the different tones of red that the cherry comes in. And it just depends on that specific tree and where it grew. But one of the really awesome things with cherry is the burls. Cherry burls are just by far the most beautiful burl that you can find. What is a burl, Aaron? A burl is simply where a tree has been damaged, whether it be by a nail, a spike, a chainsaw, another tree, a car, an animal, whatever. The tree gets damaged and it heals. Well, it doesn't heal up and down like a tree grows. It just heals every which way, and the wood repairs itself and grows different directions. So instead of having a grain that goes up and down, you have grain that goes all over different directions and makes some very pretty, gorgeous, hard and heavy wood. So the first piece we'll get started with here is this is a slab of cherry burl that I've had quite a while. Came from South Georgia, and man, this thing was heavy. It took us a while to get it out of the woods. This is inlaid in, we've got green opal, sodalite, some very pretty labradorite here, and I'll try and get it to flash. I'm learning. All this video stuff is new to me, but we're trying something new, so you can see my ragtag little setup here. But it's getting better. It's getting better, okay? Not used to doing videos. So you can see what I'm talking about here with the cherry burl and just how the grain goes all different directions. We've got some carnelian in here and chrysocolla, one of my favorites, a little bit of blue apatite, a whole lot of different energy stones in this piece, and I love it. This burl actually and this are slabs from the same burl. They can be purchased as a set. And again, you can see just how crazy the grain is when you start getting into these burl pieces. And we got the same stones in this one too. Labradorite, we've got a little bit of amethyst as well with the chrysocolla and malachite. All right, and we will start over here and work our way this way while we go through some of the other different types of things I love about cherry wood before we get up top here. So this is also one of my favorite pieces I've done, and it's an excellent example of a cherry burl. So this is a piece of burl you can see I'd cut out. I made into a lamp, and I'm gonna undo the switch here. And maybe you can see the grain pop a little bit more now. And it is just absolutely one of the prettiest burls I've ever seen. And actually, I guess with the light a little bit, you can even see the grain pop a little bit better there. And I want to do individual close-up pick our video in between each one I talk about so you can see a little bit better. Now the story behind this lamp, actually, how I even came up with this this concept, is this really big rock here after Hurricane Helena. This rock came from the Spalted mines in Spruce Pine, North Carolina. And it's used for some kind of semiconductor, superconductor quartz for computer chips. I don't know. It's pretty. And they used it, they shot a lot of it and used it for repairing the roads, the extensive damage in Western North Carolina from Hurricane Helena. And this piece came off the top of the dump truck and almost hit me in the head. I swear to God, standing right in front in my driveway. And so I was like, okay, it's got to be incorporated somehow into a piece of art. And so you can see here how it looks all rough. Or this is, so you can see this piece here. This is rough, unpolished. And I started polishing the top and the side here. And it was so pretty. I just kept polishing part of it and kind of two sides to the same stone, like with a burl. The back side here, you can see the outside of a burl is never anything really pretty. And we've got some obsidian and quartz inlaid up to the top. And then you get to the inside of the burl and it's just absolutely phenomenal. And for anybody, this is your first time watching me, sorry. Getting back to my YouTube channel and a little bit low on equipment as far as computers that can run editing software, GoPros that function correctly, and all that other little stuff. So we're going super low tech phones and making the best of it. All right. Anyway, here we go. Okay. So you can see here, this is a burl, and one of the, probably even as much as I like the cherry burls, cherry crotches. Yeah. So a crotch is simply where 2, 3, 4 or more trees come out of the same center post. And this is a very, very pretty piece of a cherry crotch. And you can see the pith. You can see there's a pith here, right here, and a pith. And that's the center part of the tree. So you can see where one tree went this way, another tree went this way. I took the Y and made that. And because it wouldn't have been a very functional bowl, the shape it was, with this one I decided to go with a little bit of epoxy, which makes for some very cool effects. You can see it lets the light shine through, so really pretty setting in the sunlight or just up on the counter. Makes for a very, very just unique kind of contrast, like what I do with my stones. And here is a more traditional live edge cherry bowl. And one of the things about cherry that's like a lot of woods, hickory, walnut, is it has a very light sapwood. Okay, so the outer ring of the tree will always be much lighter than the inside. And this is what more of a traditional cherry looks like. This is also a crotch. You can see the tree was going like this, and there was a branch that came out this way and a branch that came out this way. And as it dried, we had some cracks form. And so this one I simply inlaid with a little bit of copper and kind of really accentuates the color of the cherry. I think makes it pop. And yeah, nice and shine, fix your hair, whatever you want to do. Now, spalting is very common, something that is highly desired in the wood turning community. And spalting is simply the precursor to rot. So when a tree dies, hits the ground, and it starts to rot, the fungi basically release enzymes that cause the wood to change different colors. And most every kind of wood spalts as it starts to rot. And then once it finishes spalting, it becomes very, very soft and becomes rotten, and that's where you can't use it. But that little time period you have where it's just starting to rot makes very interesting colors, and cherry is by far one of my favorite woods that spalt. Now you can see this almost doesn't even look like cherry except for the color, but you can see the lines in the cherry. That's how cherry starts to spalt. So it is absolutely phenomenal. And you can see this piece had been a little bit chewed up by some bugs at one point. And it was just such a pretty piece. I didn't go with a lot of the fancier stones. I just simply went with some very pretty different agates and or some jaspers and some agates in this one. some copper, and it really just turned out super, super nice. Spalted black cherry. It's one of the most versatile woods, and you can even see that my display table I take to my shows are made out of cherry all the way around. And you can see the cherry cookies for my display. Yes, those cracks are there, and no, that is not an accident. I'll actually do a video of what I'm going to do, the reason I cut and let them dry and do this. It's going to be pretty nice. All right, moving right along. This is one of my first sculptures here, and I call this one Ocean's Jewel. It was a crotch again. Okay, again, you can see this was a crotch piece that was just cut off kind of the outside. One branch went this way and one branch went this way. And this one is inlaid with amethyst, chrysocolla, copper. We've got some lapis lunis and peridot. Quite a few different things. But when I saw this piece and started sanding and working on it, got the bark off, I couldn't help but think it looked kind of like a whale's tail. Let me try that. All right, we're going to try this again. I thought it looked like a whale's tail. I don't know why that is so hard to say. All right, but this piece is a beautiful wall hanging. Definitely one of my favorites that I've done so far. And once I thought, Ocean's Jewel, maybe a mermaid tail. Wanted to keep with the ocean themed colors, which are, you can't tell, my favorite colors. I love it. And last but not least, we have this beautiful big bowl. It is just over 23 inches in diameter. And it is a piece, this piece right here came from Phoenix Acre Farms. Very pretty, very big piece of cherry. And one of the pretty things about crotch when it gets bigger is it makes this almost alligator pattern. So you can see one side of the tree, the other side of the tree, and right here's where those two sides, those two branches grew together. And it just makes for that super, super pretty finish. And this bowl I inlaid with some very pretty tiger's eye. I'll try and get up close to it here so that you can see it flash. There we go. Very pretty tiger's eye there. Tiger's eye, carnelian, and copper. Another one of my favorite combinations. If it's not teal, blue, and orange, it's orange, and copper, and some black. All right, everybody. Well, obviously not professional quality cinematography here. Trying to give you guys an idea of what I do, my elemental art, and some options for some really, really good and thoughtful, unique Christmas presents. As well as a little bit about American Black Cherry. Okay, thanks for watching. And please give me some feedback. Let me know what you guys think about this kind of video format. As far as the artwork, putting it up for sale, it's really just a experiment at this point. I love making stuff, don't really care about selling stuff. So again, here in just a minute, there will be close-up videos of all these pieces, and as well as the prices. So make sure and tune into that. As well as the prices. All my contact info, purchase info will be in the pinned comment as well as descriptions. I can take any major credit card over the phone, PayPal, Venmo, all that kind of stuff. And for the month of December only, I'm offering free shipping on all pieces, even this really, really big heavy lamp here. So everybody wins. Somebody gets a good present and you get to save on the shipping cost. All right, guys. Well, I think that will do most of the not fun talking stuff. I'm going to get off here and go see if I can find some cherry wood. Thanks for watching.